For most of the 20th century, a secure retirement relied on a concept called the three-legged stool. This diagram shows those three legs: Social Security, private savings, and the corporate pension. The pension was the thickest, most crucial support of the entire structure. That pension was officially known as a defined benefit plan. The contract was straightforward. An employee gave 40 years of labor on the assembly line, and in exchange, the company guaranteed a steady paycheck from the day they retired until they died. But that entire promise rested on one central assumption: a company can only pay you until you die, if the company itself stays solvent. In December 1963, the Studebaker auto plant in South Bend, Indiana, shut its doors. The company's pension fund was $15 million short. Thousands of younger employees, some with 40 years of service, received lump sum payments worth 15 cents on the dollar. Workers under 40 got nothing at all. Those workers learned that a corporate promise was not a legally binding guarantee. The collapse shattered the illusion of corporate benevolence, creating a void in the American retirement system that forced the federal government to step in. Congress responded a decade later by passing the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, or ERISA. The goal was to legally protect accrued benefits so another Studebaker disaster couldn't happen. By legally requiring companies to hold enough cash to meet their promises and pay new insurance premiums, the law made offering a traditional pension vastly more expensive and highly regulated for employers. Employers were already feeling the pressure. The late 1970s brought a combination of stagnant economic growth, along with high taxes and rampant inflation, squeezing corporate profit margins across the country. Seeking to stimulate a sputtering economy, Congress drafted the Revenue Act of 1978. It was an expansive piece of legislation designed to lower tax brackets and boost business investment. Buried deep in that tax bill was a tiny, easily ignored provision called Section 401k. It was written to clarify the tax status of deferred cash bonuses for highly paid executives. That single paragraph provided the exact opening companies needed to escape the heavy burdens of ERISA. On a quiet Saturday afternoon in September 1979, a Pennsylvania benefits consultant named Ted Benna was alone in his office, redesigning the retirement program for a banking client. The bank's president wanted to replace their cash bonus plan with a tax-deferred savings plan. He wanted the tax break for his executives, but he needed a way to do it without ticking off the lower-paid tellers and clerks who relied on that immediate cash. Benna found his answer in Section 401k. He realized he could let employees defer a portion of their pre-tax salary, but to meet strict IRS rules, he had to get the lower-wage workers to participate. His solution was to add a matching employer contribution, an incentive that pulled everyone into the plan. The bank actually rejected the idea because their attorneys didn't want them doing something that had never been done. So Benna rolled it out for his own employees at the Johnson Companies in 1981 and secured IRS approval. Benna did not intend to design a national retirement infrastructure. He engineered a specific, tax-advantaged bonus structure that allowed executives to legally bypass IRS limits on their compensation. Right as this loophole gained traction, the 1980s delivered a historic, prolonged bull market. Between 1982 and 1999, the S&P 500 earned annualized returns of 19%. Seeing those soaring returns, regular employees wanted to participate. The 401k transitioned from a management perk into a mainstream demand, as workers sought a vehicle to join the booming market. This corporate math is striking. Left, the compounding, volatile liability of a defined benefit pension, where companies cover shortfalls if markets crash. Right, the predictable cost of a 401k match. The employer's obligation ends immediately, becoming a static line item. Armed with these numbers, corporations quietly closed their expensive pension programs. They aggressively shifted their workforces over to the 401k model, which cost them significantly less. Corporations took a minor tax loophole and used it to legally slash their long-term labor liabilities, successfully marketing a systemic cost-cutting measure as an innovative employee benefit. In the mid-2000s, the Pension Protection Act dealt a final blow to private sector defined benefit plans. It made them even harder for companies to fund, while making 401k enrollment automatic for millions of workers. This finalized the transition from defined benefit to defined contribution. As this animation shows, the burden of managing market volatility and calculating life expectancy lifted off the corporation and landed squarely on the individual worker. Suddenly, everyday workers were entirely responsible for saving enough capital, selecting the right mutual funds, and ensuring they did not outlive their market returns. By replacing guaranteed pensions with personal accounts, the 401k successfully pulled off a societal magic trick. It turned everyday Americans into mandatory Wall Street gamblers and rewrote the social contract of American labor. Today, there is over $7 trillion invested in 401ks. Wall Street has become the default holder of American retirement security. But Ted Benna isn't celebrating. He believes his creation has morphed